guys, welcome to 10 Things Thursday, a show where we talk about 10 things that you can make inside your garage. Today we're talking about 3D printing. And tonight we're going to be talking specifically, I'm Ryan, I've been hacking things my whole life. We're going to specifically talk about automotive prints. I could do probably 20 shows on the concept of everything, all the parts that need to be made for 3D printing, but we're going to talk about 10 things tonight, so let's get going. The first thing is cup washers. Anytime that you have some situation where the washer's a little bit more complicated, like this cup washer, where you need maybe an anti-vibration situation, or if you need something to be able to move around a little bit or have a tolerance, you need to have a little thicker washer on that, and that's a 3D cup washer. So you just need to Google that, look at McMaster car, and you'll see everything that results that. The next thing is any type of add-on that you would be doing for your engine, okay? Whether or not it's an air filter or a fuel filter, just Google it on eBay to find out whether or not there is a need. Your biggest key, your biggest clue in terms of whether or not you should 3D print something, and then 3D print it, list it on eBay, list it on OfferUp, Letgo, Craigslist, and see whether or not you get any traction. If you read the book 4 Hour Work Week, you can see that you need to test market everything. So a lot of things for automotive that you may not think about, all you need to do is go on eBay and search for parts that are sort of high-end or OEM. Hoses are huge for the 3D printing industry because cable management, hose management is a serious matter. So if you found a particular group, like if you followed a Corvette group or a Mustang group and made a custom hose clamp that had the logo of that particular brand, whether or not it's GM or Chrysler or Mopar, Ferrari, you could do the logo of the hose clamp so they could get a custom hose clamp that would fit their brand. So when you're researching these, look at not an idea that's doing well, but look at a possibility of customizing it with the actual brand name. This is a functional alternator bracket. If you were to print it in the right material, this is done in SLS nylon, you would be able to get all of the functionality and maybe a part that doesn't exist right now, like some OEM part that is no longer being made. And it's important to know that you can make functional parts. You could probably print an entire car. In fact, that's already been done before, where an entire race car has been printed. So literally, these products could sell to like $300 to $400. So what's important is not necessarily what you print, is knowing what to print. So you have to search that for on eBay. So mirrors, a lot of people are banging their mirrors into all types of things, brick buildings. When my wife backs out of the garage, she's hit the garage so many times. And you wouldn't believe this, but not only are mirrors expensive, I mean, for motorcycles and for cars, but they are also extremely difficult to get. They're not in stock. So if you were to get a 3D scanner, or if you understand your Fusion 360 skills, you could get the mirror and then design the housing that goes around that. The most important thing you need to understand with automotive is that you have to search for what the demand is. You need to know what people are needing. You can make an entire functional ducting system. So you could literally do potentially turbocharged parts. You could be doing any type of like anything that has to do with sort of a modern engine. There are certain things that when you print them, they have a higher degree of tolerance to heat. You just have to kind of research that. This ducting was done in SLS nylon and would allow for the engine to take in a greater amount of air, and it would also feed the engine. So what's important is for you to understand and to practice with little tiny parts that need to hold to the tolerances of higher heat, and then to potentially design something larger in fusion. So that is a very advanced project. Here's something simple that you could do with a simple profile and extrusion, and that is a hood dampener. A lot of times people don't understand why their hood vibrates, or when they slam it, it makes that noise. But a lot of these particular parts will wear out. And it's important to understand that something simple like that, if you made 6 of them, would sell really well because you would list it as it fits this particular vehicle. So if you have a friend at a junkyard, that's a pretty good friend for 3D printing. So like going and looking at different websites that have demands for certain products is really what the research that you're constantly having to do. Everyone's wanting to add lighting on their top of their vehicle. What's important with lighting is that you need to connect with the manufacturer of the lights. So here's the big tip, here's the pro tip. Buy used lighting that's name brand and list it as it goes with that light. Mostly the fittings are 1/4 inch, mostly are not millimeter, and you can make that light fit a lot of different housing. But once you link it up with Toyota Tacoma, with this particular brand of LED, you have a sale. So what's important is for you to link the manufacturer of the car along with the name brand of the part for searchability. Here's something fun. As you know, I did an electric go-kart. This is a steering wheel that's printed. This was actually used in a racing situation. Where this opens it up into sort of a new area is gaming. Gaming is huge. You could make a steering wheel that is the exact steering wheel that's used in NASCAR or is used in Indy 500 for your gaming console. So if you're a true fan of some of the NASCAR games, the virtual reality games, then you could make a custom racing steering wheel that goes along with this. Now, if you printed it in ABS or SLS nylon, you have all the strength that you need, but you don't have to worry about the expensive molds. So what's crazy about automotive is that the molds that are created cost $20,000 to $30,000. So when you think about 3D printing, you're like, wow, that took a while to print. It took me almost all night to print that steering wheel. You're competing against, which is terrible competition, it's good for you, is a $20,000 mold that other person has to make. So there's lots of opportunities. The key is for you to find that opportunity. The opportunity is found by doing research in terms of what's not in stock, what sells for a lot of money on eBay, and contact any type of auto vendor to say, is there any part that I can make? So toe shackles, this is kind of like an earring for a car, but this is something that you could potentially pull a stump out of a ground. You could be having just as sort of a bling thing, just for looks. You can also do things that hook up to your hitch and things like that. So potentially whatever you print this out of, it may not be completely functional, but you'll have to test that out. But it certainly looks pretty cool if you want to give your truck an earring. So what you may not understand is that the accessory market around cars with lighting and undermounts and all types of things inside your car is a multi-billion-dollar market. You just need to find it. So venting, when you restore a car, a lot of the vents that go, or the actual face of the vent, when you go into that, it needs to be decorative and stuff like that. And maybe not necessarily the wood grain, but there are so many parts, there's so many cars, there's so many restoration projects. There is so much potential to be made with 3D automotive printing. You just need to check, you need to research. The big key is look on Etsy, find out these parts that if someone's already sold, look at their reviews. They have 7,000 reviews, but they've been selling this part, this automotive part. So anyways, That's it for 10 Things Thursday. Whatever you do, make something that connects someone. I appreciate it. You got to print one of these parts. All right, take care, guys. Thanks. Make it your own.